Can you hear us? Oh, yes. Perfect. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Casual Friday. And as we were saying, but nobody could hear us, we are testing Carlos as a producer, and she's doing wonderfully for now. But we had some troubles at first with the audio. So, hi, guys. We hope you're fine. And Cygnus, you are joining me to cast this.
That is correct. Hello. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. So we've got 6 to 7 players today for the Casual Friday. It's the last tournament before the invite.
That is correct. We
So
have 7 players tonight for the last tournament leading up into our invitational.
on Sunday, I think some players might get decided. The bottom of the players could get decided via the participation points. They could get in the Casual Friday today. So we're gonna check that out.
Let's see. Really quickly, I see that it doesn't appear that any of the players. Actually, Flippy Flop. Flippy Flop could sneak
Yeah,
into
could get
tie
decided.
for the 16th place. Flippy Flop, I believe, is the player here whose invitational fate rests on being able to, well, being around to play 2 rounds.
Yes, to get the points he needs. So the first matchup would be Cross versus Kiar today. We have selected the Cronroach, the Cronroach deck.
Yes, we have. And over on the other side of this matchup, we see that Kiara is playing Argenport midrange with some interesting updates compared to past AP mid lists. We see Sheriff Marley's and some of the new spellcraft weapons.
Yes, we see the main part that was interesting to me was the one Cronroach trader, kind of like a remain of the past. I haven't seen him much on the current deck list, but I've seen a little bit of Marley. She's a nice body for weapons. Probably would have loved to see the flying blade, the one that has destiny and flying for her. But yeah, it should be nice. It should be an interesting matchup. Marley is an interesting ad for the
Oh,
AP
the
mid.
players are ready, so let's
Oh,
dive
yeah, let's
into
go.
some Eternal.
The audio. Perfect. Okay, so we're just gonna change the display. Says player and opponent, but it's fine. Okay, so we've got. It's a weird hand that we're seeing from Kiar.
Yes, Kiara has a hand here that has access to Winchester Merchant that can go get Marshall Ironthorn.
No, you can see you can see the right hand, but the viewers probably can't because the hand that I'm seeing isn't Argentport.
Oh, you're right. It appears that
There's yeah. I'm just gonna play blind for now, and we are going to. I probably should. Okay, Kairos, you probably should restart the Windows, the Discord window for the opponent's cam.
yeah, it seems to be your record. You're not seeing my Discord window as
Hey guys, sorry, we're figuring this out.
live.
It's fine. Okay, so we can see Cross dropping the early crone on the board. Always good to have, and having access to what's the name of the spell that gives
I believe you're talking about Twinning Ritual, which we can
yeah,
see
that's
in
it.
Cross's hand. That
The
makes a
main
copy of a
problem
unit.
is that Kiara's is a Tavrod at the ready, and the only answer for now for Cross is the Equivocate.
I really like Cross's choice to be running several copies of Lumen Reclaimer here, because her Entomb effect shuffle or put 4 copies of Lumen Reclaimer into your deck. Those copies keep whatever abilities she's picked up off of the crown. That's something I actually haven't really thought of in the past when I was thinking about making Crown Roach decks, and boy, do I like
Yeah,
Crown Roach decks. So I feel kind of bad for not coming up with that idea, but it does make a lot of sense here.
it does. And we're gonna see a Genève merchant, and I'm checking the deck list at the same time. A Genève merchant that can go and fetch another no, just another equivocate or a crown of possibility, and it's gonna be the
You
crown
fetch the
of
crown. You always
possibility.
fetch
Yeah,
the crown. You want to have as many crowns as possible because each crown
I'd added value. Yeah.
adds value. Exactly.
Okay, so probably gonna see the crown plus um the second side. There's a case for okay, he's gonna wait for the second side, so that's nice. But there's a case for giving echo to the bird and see what you get there.
Yeah, that's one thing. Since you can't directly give any of your stuff echo, you have to hope to echo into something. Now, a second sight right here, drawing a clockroach, is going to be fantastic. What did that clockroach hit?
I can't see it. It would charge
Charging
and
Warcry.
Warcry,
Okay.
great.
Now, here's an interesting thing. Cross decided to put the nesting Avisar on top rather than the clockroach. Then it hit Aegis and
Wow.
Deadly and Destiny. No, it hit Destiny there. It had either Aegis or Deadly already.
Yeah.
But that allows him to put one of the cockroaches he had in hand on top of the deck, now costing less, and then it's going to echo again when he draws it. So basically, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, it's gonna have a ton of keywords. Probably gonna it's well, deadly would be nice to block the big bodies that are incoming, but everything feels great right now. This is a Crownwatch deck that actually is able to do what he wants to do.
I think the issue for Kiara here is going to be units in the air, most likely.
But he decides to go and slay the deadly units the deadly unit that is blocking his units.
Yeah, get
That's a
in
lot of
for.
pressure, but oh, you get one that has ambush. Okay.
Yes. We can see that Cross
Hmm.
has to be making blocks at this point because he's already down to 12. Now it looks like he's going to choose to
Yeah, I
double block
like that.
Sheriff Marley.
That was a lot of damage to take.
Yeah, she's the most damage on the board and can create additional things over time.
Did he?
Oh,
He didn't
he's
need flying.
uh, Twinning Ritual though
Oh,
is going to hit
there we
Flying
go.
and Destiny. Oh man, so those show up
Ah,
right now and result in more card draw, which
this is
results
beautiful.
in more unit draw, including Luminal Reclaimers that now have Echo and Thunderstrike Dragons that now have Echo.
Oh, doesn't have destiny. That is so bad.
Yeah, the
Oh,
one issue
great.
with hitting Destiny is that your next Twinning Ritual can't copy that unit because it's all in play.
Yeah. Okay, so
But
we get one with killer and double damage, if I'm not mistaken. An overwhelm. Okay.
at this point, Cross has had enough time, and I don't see Cross losing this.
Wait, he's at 7. We'll see. He doesn't. Has he hit lifesteal yet? Hmm.
He has not yet hit Lifesteal or Endurance, which means he's having to not attack in with his Flying Charge Clockroaches right now,
Yeah.
because then he'd take a decent amount of damage on the Crackback, but even then, that wouldn't be lethal, and, well, look at his hand.
Yeah. I get you. Maybe a slay there from Kia would have pushed a little bit of extra damage, but then again, doesn't
You
change
just double
much.
damage and Killer on that Lumen Reclaimer, allowing it
Yeah.
to attack Sheriff Marley and die in doing so, adding an additional 4 copies of this
Of the
Aegis Double
yeah.
Damage Killer Lumen Reclaimer to the deck. And while we're at it, let's also play a Double Damage Charge Overwhelm Killer
For one.
Cockroach and
7
attack for
7.
lethal.
Yes. Well, this was wait. So if he blocks, yeah, no, it's okay. The other one has overwhelm. Well, that was whew. The double crown roach is the double crown is hard to beat. That's a lot of value.
It's pretty crazy when the Crown deck gets running, and that's part of why I love it. I think it was one of the first decks that I really got into in Eternal. I think was that then Charge Rod.
You like big value decks.
I like things that do crazy stuff.
The first time I saw a Black Scavenger hit deadly, I was I was actually like very ready to quit Eternal for a few days.
Well, now that can happen even more consistently with
It can.
Carrick's coach driver.
This and it kind of you got a few options to give deadly to your cards now. You've got Breeze Dancer that happened as well. You've got other options. Oh yeah, we can change to say that Cross won the first. Yeah, great, the first round. So players should get ready to start the new game, and you've got a Cron again in Cross's hand.
Yes, the Crown and Cross's hand is nice, but if you look at the rest of the hand, pretty much all it is power and
Draw, yeah.
some draw. That if you really look at that card in a vacuum,
Ooh.
it's only draw one card, and this Crown goes away. I don't believe Cross has any way to get those back from the Void either. Well, he does. He has Lumen Reclaimer, but I mean that just goes into the deck.
Yeah, Cross has Equivocate, One of Possibility, a Scorpion Wasp, a Lumen Reclaimer, and a Thunderstrike Dragon in the market, so no disjunction.
I'm somewhat interested in Cross's reasoning for not playing out one of those second sights now. It wouldn't be a huge amount of value, but it would be allowing him to at least draw one card and have one extra card worth of selection, seeing further into his deck. It's not actually selection, it's more so just vision. And the thing is,
this is gonna be okay.
yeah.
Kiar doesn't find a fifth power, so he can't activate the spellcraft from the weapon.
That's correct. Rather than a Vanquisher's Blade here, it's probably going to be Slay. Oh, going to the market instead. Fair enough. Probably market, pick up power in exchange for the Slay, then play Ripknife Assassin, and have Vanquisher's Blade to kill the 4/4 next turn.
Yeah.
In theory, Cross just drawing more power. That's not really what he's looking for now, though. The second Lumen Reclaimer does mean that there's a decent amount of defense.
Yeah, there's
even
a lot
after
of blockers,
one
but
Vanquisher's Blade, but the thing is, those don't defend against a Winchester Merchant, which has flying. And
okay,
also,
so he gets to attack with the Winchester Merchant now, and you can put the 2/2 as well. Yeah, okay, I can see this. Okay.
now worth note, while the Lumen Reclaimers in the Void have Void Bound, that's not stopping them from putting copies of Lumen Reclaimer into the deck.
Yeah.
So Cross's deck also is now more full of kind of blank draws here in those Lumen Reclaimers, and that's one of the dangers of playing them in a deck like this, where if they don't have flying, they're terrible blockers for flying units, and suddenly these 4/4s that kind of do nothing are a very common draw for you, and the top deck of a 5/2 Lethrai Falchion is going to allow
that's a lot of
to
damage to be put
attack in
through.
for 10 in the air.
Yeah.
That would put Cross to 5 and Kiara up to 40. An attack with the Paladin as well forces a chump block. I guess it's a trade, not a chump block. So in theory, if Cross has a way to kill this Winchester Merchant,
Do you agree with putting the Lethroy Falcon on the Witch's Merchant?
there is something to be said for putting it onto the other unit,
Yeah,
since
it
that
had
would allow it
had
to
Aegis,
survive attacking there. I probably would have just put Falchion on the Winchester Merchant and then
But
kill.
then Equivocate is just ruining your
Yeah,
game.
exactly. I would have put the Falchion on the Winchester Merchant and not attacked in with the other unit to have something else that is threatening lethal. But now we're going to see what happens when this 10/7 turns into something else, and it's going to be
Yeah, I would have put the weapon on the Aegis unit, I think.
a premonition was. Well, It's possible that that ultimate
Technically, yeah.
actually can be triggered by Kiar. Kiar definitely has ways to gain life, but the thing is,
Okay, so we're
Tavrod
gonna
really
see
isn't
more blockers.
one of them, and Kiar is very limited in ways to give units flying. Not
That's a
having
3-3 and a 4-4. Oh, okay. 3-3 and 3-3. Okay. Hmm. So we're gonna see the Vanquisher's Blade on the Tavrod. It can attack without being answered. I don't see. I wouldn't put the 4-4 on the board there.
not only does that Tavrod get to attack without being answered, it gets
It
to do
fetches
so
another Tavrod. Or
and
is
forces a
yeah.
chump block with one of Cross's units. I suspect that Cross's reasoning for not playing out the other one would have been maybe to deal with the Vanquisher's Blade, but
Yeah, maybe.
then again, also if you're here to deal with a Vanquisher's Blade, then
No, no,
you
it
know
might be
that
a
it would be
reasoning, but
making Tavrod big enough that you can't multi-block to kill there, so it's really kind of a moot point, I would say.
so this is the downside of playing for two sets of merchants. You're playing a Scorpion Wasp in your market, but you can't fetch it with this merchants. So this is kind of a dead card right now. We'll see. That's and
An easy triple block there allows Cross to get rid of this Tavrod, which luckily for Cross did not hit anything off of its attack there. And now Cross could in theory double block to kill Tavrod, and oh yes, by playing out the merchant, that's
he's going to
very,
get the
very
Thunderstrike Dragon, I suppose. Yeah, there you go. That's a lot of blockers. One of the points for having the flying blade. What is it called? Inquisitor's blade, maybe something
yes,
like that.
Inquisitor's Blade is the flying
You get to
weapon with
bypass,
revenge.
yeah, those little blockers. Okay, so that leaves Kiara's quite of a disadvantage if he doesn't find a Vanquish or Vanquish's blade.
That is correct. These Thunderstrike Dragons provide perfect blockers for things
We're
like
gonna see
Unseen
a 4
Commando.
4. A 4
Now,
4 being spawned via the Vara's Favor and the ultimate of the 2-2.
yes, that's very correct. Now, in theory, you'd usually use Var's Favor to pop an enemy player's Aegis or an enemy unit's Aegis, but it's good that Kiara did not do that because since it's not deal 1 damage, gain 1 life, it's
Yeah,
deal 1
he wouldn't
damage
have
with
gained
lifesteal on the
any life.
spell. Hitting an Aegis with that would have resulted in no life gained. And here's the crown. So, did we just see Cross stabilize?
Really depends if Kiara can find the Vanquish's blade. The game is over if he can. Ooh, charge. That'd probably attack. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, Cross has an opening to start attacking in, but
Mm,
that is a way to get punished for that.
that's a very good
Now,
good draw.
if I'm Kiara, I attack with everything,
Yeah.
and Cross, if he double blocks to kill the Radiant, he'd be dead. So it's upfront play from Cross not doing that. It still results in him losing his Thunderstrike Dragon.
And his Gen of Merchant. Yeah, that was okay. Ooh. What's the
Okay,
keyword on the merchant, sorry? Is it it's charge again. That's
well, charge on a merchant isn't that useful, especially Aurelian merchant of all merchants.
Yeah, but you
What
can get
is
the
remaining?
Scorpion Wasp.
Yeah, exactly. He could
Probably
go
do
to the
that.
market and grab Scorpion Wasp.
Scorpion Wasp is very good against Kyo's deck. You get to attack with the 5/6 and keep the Wasp on the side. And it's gonna get a keyword, but who cares about that? It's a Scorpion Wasp.
Oh dear, he's going for the attack before doing anything else, and he's going to be playing the dragon instead. And Kiar top decks
Yeah, does he
the
have a
merchant.
Vanquish's blade
That's
in
it's not Inquisitor's Blade, but he has Slay,
It's
Vanquish, Valkyrie Enforcer. I'd probably go for Valkyrie Enforcer right now if I'm
yeah, of
Kiar
course.
because that adds another body to the board while also putting the Thunderstruck Dragon out of the air, but it looks like it's going to
Goes
be
for the
Vanquish
Vanquish.
instead.
No, I disagree with that. Yeah.
It does completely remove the Thunderstruck Dragon from the battlefield.
Yeah, but you're ensuring lethal next turn if you go for the enforcer. So yeah, I'm not fan.
Well, if you see this order, it still seems to be lethal from Kar. Any one of his 3 units would be lethal. But Cross, luckily enough, is able to play out the Aurelian Merchant and have the Scorpion Wasp now. And this attack with everything is going to get hard punished.
Yeah,
Though the Aurelian Merchant will be dying
does
to the
die.
4
Yeah.
4. At this point, I think Cross has enough blockers. Twinning
There
Ritual
we
as
go.
well.
Yes,
He's going to snap
this
that
is
off
good.
on his Avasaur.
And double damage buzzer.
Let's see if Cross is feeling greedy.
He is. Oh no, he's not. Okay. I mean, he wants to see, I guess, a removal, and if you're Kya, you have to wait for the next card for the merchant.
Right.
Lumen Reclaimer.
Playing out the Avasaur and still now feeling greedy
Okay.
enough to put that back on top, which is okay. That's okay because Kiar can go into the market, tossing the Justice Sigil out for the Valkyrie Enforcer now.
That's one of the reasons why you would have wanted to get the Enforcer beforehand, because now Vanquish would have been good, but it's not an option anymore. So you've got to get Slay if you get a kill.
Enforcer on Nesting Avasaur. That's what I'd be doing personally, but it looks like Kiara instead wants to get rid of that dragon.
Yeah.
I guess you get to kill the Avasaur now. Yeah.
So now you get to get flying, or you're getting into trouble.
Charge and double damage. Neither of those are flying. When Reclaimer sends the Void back into the deck.
Attack, yes.
Now, sending the Void back
That's
into the deck here actually does increase Cross's hit rate.
That's almost lethal.
Almost
such an easy-
is not lethal.
Yes.
Cross is at 1 and
that's
top deck's power. So turns out that Cross did not manage to stabilize.
I want to check out in Cross's deck list. You've got 4 wisdom that he still hasn't seen. You've got I guess the main thing for me is the double merchant that doesn't allow you to get everything from your markets.
Oh, I
Not a fan.
am totally in agreement with running double merchant, even if it doesn't allow you to get everything out of your market.
I don't know, like I think one of the main thing that you want to do if you're running double market is ensure that most of your cards are double color, like multi-faction.
You
This
have
is,
to remember that
it's dead if you
you
draw
were
it and you don't have the cards in your market left.
I wouldn't say it's dead. The thing is,
kind of is. Kind of. If you've already gotten the Scorpion Wasp, for example, and you need the Equivocate and you top deck the Aurelian Merchant, it's a dead card. Doesn't
you
do
can
anything.
still get Equivocate.
Yes. Sorry, I meant it the other way with Genève. And what we saw in the previous game, actually, where you wanted Scorpion Wasp and couldn't get it via Genève.
Thunderstrike Dragon was a perfectly reasonable alternative to Scorpion Wasp there. It worked out very well for Cross getting that. Might have even been better at the time when it did happen. The thing is, there's only 4 of each of those merchant, barring shenanigans with Echo or returning them from the void to the deck, thanks to Luminor Claimer. And there's 3 things that you can get with a Primal Merchant, and 4 things you can get with a Time Merchant. And then anything you put back, you can also theoretically get later on, which is actually something really powerful you can do, like with a Echo unit later on.
I see what you mean. Yeah. I mean, my the only thing I would say in favor of running two merchant in this kind of deck is that Crown is your main engine and it can be fetched with the two merchants, so that's four more access to Crown. But really, apart from that, I wouldn't be doing it. You need you need better units than the merchants to get hit on your Crown. So I don't know. I would run something else.
I am still going to disagree with you on that.
Yes, I can get that. So huh, y- I don't know. What do you think of Molly actually? Now that we've seen her in the deck.
Marley's great here. She'll
Yeah,
be able
hard to
to
remove.
start creating deputies that Kiar can then send to the market to go get whatever he wants for almost no cost, just an extra couple of power.
Hey.
But over on Cross's side, we're seeing the downside of running those Thunderstrike Dragons in the main as well, because sometimes you get into a situation where you just can't play them because they are fairly large, expensive units compared to the rest of the deck.
It's a the triple primal influence that's hard on the Thunder Strike Dragon.
Yes, triple influence usually isn't super hard on a two faction deck, though.
No, of course, but early on you can definitely get stuck at 6 power, but two primal influence, and it gets hard to play them.
And a big thing here is that it looks scarier. It looks worse in Cross's hand looks worse than it actually is, because you see, oh look at all those Thunderstrike dragons he can't play. Well, he has a lot of other things he can play anyway. That is a side effect of Echo that you sort of have to mentally
I see what you mean,
manage.
but I think his main problem is that he doesn't have much mana to play all these cards. He's getting he's got a lot of units in front of him. The main thing.
I mean, he's missed at most one power drop because Kiara has not missed a power drop yet.
Okay, so that's one block already.
Playing the
Yeah.
Thunderstrike Dragon here.
Ooh. Sabotage getting rid of the only spell in Cross's hand, and we will get to. Ooh. Okay. Wait. He's not getting rid of the. Oh.
It appears Kiara
Okay.
wants this block to happen, or really any block with the Thunderstrike Dragon to happen, so that he can then kill the Thunderstrike Dragon with the Arc Rune Hammer. And
Hmm.
if he,
I mean, he's got a merchant in hand that can fetch a Slayer or Vanquish, so he knows he can get rid of the incoming Thunderstrike Dragon. So Cross has to. Well, there we go. Cross would have to play two units, two flying units to ensure that things would go right. But we're gonna see a kill from.
as the Valkyrie Enforcer is still in the market,
Yeah.
Kiara is able to put that Thunderstrike Dragon down onto the ground and attack for
That's
lethal.
it. Yeah, that's quite classic AP stuff. So apart from the Mali, I still don't understand the one Crown Ridge Trader, but apart from the Mali, it's a
The
list that
one
we've
Crown
already
Watch Trader
seen.
is probably because
He
there's
doesn't have Mo.
probably because Kiara
Yeah.
doesn't have more copies of Argent Port
I
Trader,
can't say
because
anything. I don't think I have any, but
it is a very, very good Argent Port mid card.
it is. I haven't tried it in the meta, and
It
I haven't
is
seen it
it
in the.
is a flex slot where people will oftentimes run.
I mean, I've seen Impending Doom these days.
Yes,
Yes.
Impending Doom, that's the one. And
Oh, yes. So which match isn't completed yet? We got Edmund versus John Combo. Does any of you guys have any of those? I I
Have both
think
of them.
we are getting you guys the match. Yes.
Leading up to that, we can have podcast mode. So we'll be diving in with Hetman versus John Combo. Hetman appears to be on Voda Combo, or possibly a Combre power based aggro deck, as it is running Awakened Students and Mystic Ascendants, and Hetman just beat John Combo there. We'll have to find out if that was just a game or the match,
Yeah,
in which case.
this looks like Voda combo, yeah. Looks like big Combre slash Voda combo. Ascendant is back.
Yes, that was the last match of the round.
Okay, if that was
So,
the last match, it's fine. Don't worry. Kalos is trying to do her best to get the players, but I think this concludes the round actually. So we're just gonna get back to you guys in a few seconds. Yeah, we'll be right back. Seconds. This is. Can I get another? Hi
And we're
guys.
and we're
Go
back
ahead.
with round 2 of the Eternal Casual Friday.
My
I am
goal in
Sigma,
life is to say it before you.
and your Phoenixton, and
Yes.
you can call out what we're doing here today.
We are going to present you with a very interesting deck list, in my opinion. Actually, deck lists, because I like the Vodak Umbra as well. But let's talk about this Fire Time Primal Inspire deck. It has Zuberry and Magus of Celerity. Isn't that great? Also a bunch of stuff, but who cares? Magus of Celerity. It's great! I am waiting for the deck that's gonna make this card popular.
Yeah, you think that it's really got some potential there,
Yeah.
especially since Teacher of Humility exists.
Yeah, but I'd say that charge is such a good keyword in Eternal, like borderline broken with Aegis. Like Aegis and charge are probably the most problematic keywords in Eternal, but I would say that Magus of Celerity is probably one of the Inspire cards with the most potential. And we see a lot of the one that gives Berserk, but I'm very surprised that we haven't seen more of Magus of Celerity. So I can't wait to see how this plays out. On the other side, we've got Vodak Ombre, so I don't know. I used to see some with more removal than that, but it looks interesting. Oh yeah,
Yes,
we're gonna
I
jump right
I said the
into
casters
the
are
game.
ready. So we're calling this deck for Hetman Vodacombre rather than Vodacombo because even though it is running well Vodacombo, it's also a lot less dedicated to that strategy.
Yeah, it's got way more ways to win the game. And let's see this Call the Ancients that just been casted by Flippy Flop.
Yeah, Flippy
I've
Flop's
been running
been.
it on ladder lately. Oh,
Oh,
good
you've been
times.
running Call the Ancients in decks?
Yes,
Nice.
yes,
I
but
don't have any copies of it right now.
oh, hmm, you've got to craft some. Like it's not a good card, but it's a great card to fiddle with. And that's the best. Call the
Especially if you're a
Ancients.
luck
Yeah.
sack, like Flippy Flop apparently is.
Yes, that's okay. Edmund sees a Xenon initiation, but he's gonna need more than that to actually get rid of the entrance. So the torch in Flippy Flop's hand could allow him to attack and just get rid of one of the
Yeah, there's no
Dawnwalkers.
reason for Hitman to ever not double block there unless he's going to soul read that Flippy Flop has a torch. Flippy Flop had a torch.
Yeah, but again, the Dawnwalkers aren't. They're quite expandable. So
Yes, yes, they are, especially as Hetman did draw into other ways to play, other ways to get that last influence he needs. But the thing is, none of the units he has in hand, those Mystic Ascendants, start out
wait,
at 5 power.
I need to check out. Okay, it just played Read the Stars. I need to check out this card. So it's the one that says Nightfall. So it triggers Nightfall and it draws a card for 2, and it is a spell, not a fast spell.
That is correct. It is a 2 cost card that draws you a card now and a card later on through Nightfall. It works out as to be a way to keep Lethari
Let's try, I
Darkstalker
guess.
active. And that is a big
Okay,
part of what Flippy Flop's looking to do here. And a
this is a
sugar tactic
big block. Yeah.
allows him to attack in putting Hetman to 6 and Bloodthirsty Brawler as well showing up. That's a very very serviceable draft uncommon. 4/6 Berserk Overwhelm for 5.
Hmm. The main problem of Flippy Flop right now is that it doesn't have any overwhelm units. But there we go. We see a Magus of Celerity. That's gonna be able to scout and see if he can find anything to. Okay, he chooses to scout. Ooh.
I would still say that this is one of the negatives of Mages of Celerity. I've been trying it out myself, and I do want to see it work, but there are situations like this where it's just a 3-3 for 3, and you have to wait for it to get
Yes.
any really extra value beyond that. Like,
No,
I
for
mean,
sure, for sure you do. But do you agree with Flippy Flop's decision to actually keep the Winter's Grasp on top? I know it seems like a good removal, but the problem is I'm gonna check out so that I don't say anything stupid, because I think the only true damage that he can deal is with torches, and that's this Winter's Grasp isn't what you're looking for if you're Flippy Flop. This is
Winter's
just gonna
Grasp
be
both prevents one unit from blocking for a turn and activates Lethroid Darkstalker to be able to attack in, while
yeah.
also hitting Nightfall. And Nightfall triggers right now are rather hazardous to Hetman's health, as he's currently sitting at 6, and with this attack here, it's going to go even less than that, especially since Bloodthirsty Brawler
Ah,
has
yeah, that's the one that has
Berserk on top of the
Berserk.
Overwhelm.
I'd probably go to 1, to be honest. Hmm. I'm not sure about this.
This is lethal.
What happened?
Hetman's dead.
What was that?
Hetman double blocked
What?
the Bloodthirsty Brawler with.
Oh, my bad. I was only seeing the. Seriously, what are those cards? This has Overwhelm?
Yes,
Okay.
Bloodthirsty Brawler has Overwhelm. That's
My
how
bad.
that was a win. There was no way that wasn't going to end the
What
game
is
right
this
there.
card? People, I
Like I
need to
said, it's
know
a
this card
very
to
good
cast this
draft uncommon.
efficiently.
It's
Uh,
a very good
I
draft
will trust you
uncommon.
on that, yes. Berserk Overwhelm, yeah, it seems nice. I mean, yeah, I guess. Sure. That was weird. Berserk Overwhelm. Was there a way for him to... So wait, there was a way for him to survive this.
I'm not sure if there was a way for Hetman to survive that turn, and I'm personally not going to do the math. I'm
Yeah,
instead
okay.
excited to see
You
game
might be
2
right.
between these players.
Hmm. I want to see Zuberi go off. Looks great. This is a mulligan by Flippy Flop for sure. I don't know what Edman's has in hand, but this can't really be played.
And it was indeed a
Yeah.
mulligan into a hand that doesn't really do a huge amount either. I mean, he does have access to the market, but like you said, there's no major celerity in the market.
I would
It's-
really run it in the market. It seems like a good card. I don't Curiox. Okay, Curiox feels nice because it's got it can get charged via Magus if you get it from the market. But I don't know if it's not a bit overkill. Like, you want to get access to your Magus of Celerity. Now, with that said, seriously, this deck list taunts me very, very hard. I really want to play this.
I do really like the Sky Terror in the market. That's one of the things I was doing in my Mages of Celerity deck.
Yeah.
Mine is a much more Jawbone Greatsword focused one because it the idea of having a brand with Overwhelm and Charge and of course Berserk because he's brand seems pretty strong.
Yeah, I think that's the main point. I don't own Joban Greatsword, but I should actually craft some, because the fact that the card gets drawn is actually a strong incentive to play it with markets.
Jawbone Greatsword is a safe
With
craft.
Inspire.
Anyone who tells you
Yeah.
otherwise is.
But I am poor Cygnus.
So am I, and that's why I don't have copies of Call of the Ancients.
Okay, we probably going to see a Twilight Hunt, if I'm not mistaken. Twilight Hunt, I believe. I like Twilight Hunt. It's okay. Okay, no Twilight Hunt then.
Flippy
Who
gets the
cares
Sky
about this?
Tyrant.
Why
And
you
it's
can't play it?
premium. Exciting.
Yes, it's cute. I like it. Um, yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's not kill the 3/3 then. Okay,
Now it's a 4/4.
yeah. Is Call the Ancients that good? Like, I really love the card, and I was using it I am using FTP moment deck, but it's like it's the first cut that you should make. It's just not that good.
I imagine Flippy is going to 2-for-1 himself, or even 3-for-1 himself to kill Mystic Ascendant here. Yep.
I mean, technically, you can't let the Mystic Ascendant leave, so
Yeah, and
I
I guess you
agree.
can't really consider it a full 3-for-1 because the
I mean, the
Dusk
Nightfall
Raider
triggers for.
already had her
Okay,
Nightfall trigger, and the Twilight Hunt creates a Nightfall trigger, and the Dusk Raider also ate a silence effect off Desert Marshal. So, yeah, it's an acceptable trade, something you definitely have to do as well because you aren't willing to let Hetman keep getting the extra draws beyond your own Nightfall triggers. And
yeah,
well,
there we go. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have. There was a case for actually not casting Cold Ancients and just get rid of something on the board. That was a lot. You don't run anything to come back from a board that's getting way
out of
way
control.
too degenerate. Yeah. Yes. That's one
And that
one.
is one of these issues that you run into if you are running this Inspire style of deck. A lot of your units you don't actually want to die, and that means that you both can't really run board wipes and also frequently have not great blocks.
Hmm. I wonder how the. I mean, you could for an Hellstorm in this. I believe.
And here we see the downside of running a 3-faction deck with Teacher of Humility.
Yeah. Hmm.
It makes it a
He's
lot
playing.
harder to
So he's
get
playing
her into play
four
decently.
Cold Ancients, and he's playing one Permafrost and four Winter's Grasp. Winter's Grasp.
Flippy Flop is planning for it to be night very often.
Yeah, of course, but yeah, it
But
would be
I
nice if he
definitely
did
would want
that.
to have a full set of permafrost as well.
Yeah.
Though there's also something to be said for going down on permafrost a little bit now due to the existence of markets and how easy it is for time decks to have a
Well, Titan
hourglass.
is a problem, but oh, you mean Hourglass?
Well, Titans in general
I
and
haven't
an hourglass
seen
in the
Hourglass
market.
that much, but yeah, but
And
I
I
mean,
mean,
they're
Heaven's
like
not running
the
hourglass in the
Titan
market, so I
army.
suppose so be it.
So Zuberry plus Killer is something that I would like to see if Sleepy Flop isn't dead by that time. I really would like to see it. Probably gonna see a Dusk Raider and just a pass, I guess. Okay, no Zuberry.
Flippy plays Zubiri.
Wants to double block?
And Desert Marshal
No,
silences Zubiri.
no.
Turns out people do not want Zuberi to have text if they're fighting against him.
Yeah, I guess so. This is like recognizing that the teacher isn't even a threat in the deck right now.
And here's World Bear Behemoth, which
And that's
will
gonna
help
take a
Hetman.
Winter's Grasp.
Yeah, it's gonna need to get Winter's Grasp.
Look at this Cold Entrance. What does it do?
Nothing.
Yes, there we go.
That's why I don't have any copies of it.
Yeah, but it's a sweet card. You've got to admit.
And look at that. Flippy Flop just stacked Nightfall triggers.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna draw some of the entrance. But
He could
that's
draw an
something
Ancient
else.
with
Like
Berserk.
you're calling the entrance, and the cards that you're receiving are just Titan. Like why? Why are they called like ancient? They're called Titan.
Well, Titan is a frequent term for Sentinels in Eternal, and Sentinels are ancient, so it works.
It works technically. Now, this Carousel is gonna be hard to remove. You need to find a permafrost or a winter's grass, something to stop it from actually
And
attacking.
we can see Flippy Flop chose not to play Twilight Hunt, which means that World Bear Behemoth has reactivated, and that means that
Yes.
Hetman
Yeah, there
would
we
have
go.
gotten 2 triggers off Mystic Ascendant. And Flippy Flop just saw the writing on the wall, say, okay, we're gonna let the more traditional, but still kind of spicy deck that Hetman's running take the win.
Well, I would like to see a Vodakan being cast by Hetman at some point if we get to cast him again. But yeah,
I
Flippy Flop.
imagine the Vodacon
Hmm.
strategy is largely just a way to break through board stalls, which is something you do run afoul of in a time mid-range mirror.
Yeah, yeah. In any, I would say in any control matchup, you might find it. I would love to see it. Also, not playing any stand together that could help protect his board from a harsh rule. Maybe people are just not expecting harsh rule at a casual Friday. That might be it.
It appears that this might have been the last game of the round, as the other matchup
Really?
nobody's playing right now, so we
Give me a sec
may.
because I don't have a. Apparently Sifar and Combo are still playing.
Okay, it does seem like Sigmar and John Combo are indeed still playing.
Okay, perfect.
We're going to be
So
diving into the start of a game. We're not really sure what game.
so John Combo is playing Dark Canadian and Sifar is playing, let me check. Bombs Away, he's calling it. Oh, Light the Fuse, Flame Belcher, um Grenadine Cannoneer.
Yes, as
That's a
much
lot of
as
bombs. Okay.
Safar really enjoys bringing Chalice to
I mean,
tournaments
I
where you're
want to
playing
try
to
his Chalice
win,
deck list from the other day. It was great.
Safar also really likes bringing Flame Belchers to the Casual Friday.
He's gonna bottom this Grenadine. Uh, gets five fire bombs into the opponent's deck, and Combo is playing a deck that is playing Wisdom of the Elder, for example, so does have some draw effects. Ooh, Birthright. Oh, this is a spicy deck.
Oh, yeah. Players
Okay,
are presently 1-1, meaning that somehow Safar did manage to beat John Combo. And
so Birthright is a card for people who don't know. It's a relic, and it says at the start of each turn, of each player's turn, they play the top card of their deck. So basically, they do the effect that Great King Titan does at the end of the of their turn.
except at the
So
start of the
yeah,
turn.
yeah,
And Safar likes to do that because it increases the chances of John Combo drawing into a firebomb.
yeah, it's
Well,
great. I love it.
it allows Safar to play all sorts of crazy stuff, though there is a world where that helps out John Combo.
Wait, so Sifar is playing Lost in the Mist, so it's a card, the top left card of his of his hand, it says for 4, you put an enemy unit into the enemy player's hand with cost increased by 2.
Oh
So just
man,
yeah.
Safar just hit a second birthright off birthright. So now, starting with John Combo, that's going to be 2 birthright triggers a turn.
Getting rid of the combustion cell is important, but John Combo draws one off the top of their deck.
Then
This,
plays Seek Power and Shadow Sigil,
it's
right?
important to note
No, he
that
plays Seek Power and
it's
Primal Sigil.
it's important to note that the card that is played by Birthright isn't the first one that you draw that turn. You first draw the card, and then a card is being played from your deck.
I also want to shout out that cool sword animation from Birthright.
Yes, from
That's
Birthright.
something I haven't seen before.
Have you ever seen Birthright being played? That might
I've
be the
seen
reason.
people running it in decks, but I've never seen it actually get to go off.
Ooh, light the fuse.
And well, Safar is putting some more light the fuse firebombs into John Combo's deck. John Combo can have a decent clock against Safar as well.
One
Here's a
firebomb.
firebomb. Destiny trigger as well.
We want to see more.
Destiny card draw? No? Okay.
No, it doesn't. I think that the point is that since it's not played from your hand, you don't get. Since it's not really drawn, it's just played. You don't
Oh
get the
yes, of
destiny.
course, that would skip the Destiny.
You're taking quite a lot of damage if you're C4 right now, so needs to find some more bombs. Okay.
Oh, he also has 2 ways to bounce attackers, but like his
Yes.
options for attackers to bounce right now are an Ixton Merchant or 1/1s.
Firebomb. Yes. Ooh, a
And
combust.
combust.
He doesn't get a choice to play it or not. He's got to trigger it. So this puts some more firebomb into his deck.
And by some more, you mean literally just 1?
Yes. It was for emphasis. Like you need to tell people that there are a lot of firebombs in John Combo's deck right now.
Let's see.
Let's
Right
see.
now,
I want to see what Birthright is.
there are 11 minus 2, so 9 firebombs. And one of the downsides of Birthright compared to actually drawing the firebombs is you can't. Well, downside for Safar is that you can't result. He can't have
Oh god.
his opponent draw into a chain of firebombs to just
Yes.
die.
You can't if it's it from the bus.
Oh,
The Jack doesn't get put on the board, which is a big deal.
John
But no-
Combo's actually probably happy to draw that Jack instead because that means it can play Combustion Cell and
Yeah.
then Jack with Tribute active.
Is the tribute that important right now?
It kills a blocker.
You could have attacked with it, with your cards, and he would have done the same. He would have blocked the 2-1. Like this is point. This is point for style. Like yeah, I tributed the guy from my combustion cell. Now we see some more tempo from Sifa trying to stop the Jack from staying on the board.
See, it's not about efficiency. It's about sending a message.
Okay, so the 2-1 gets sent back. Some more blockers. That's good for now. We will see one of them die, but there is a temple. Oof, that's hard.
Wisdom of the Elders played off Birthright, and Quarry played off Birthright. So that's going to be 2 cards drawn and an End of Hostilities drawn as well with the discount.
So with the discount, you can get Jack copied or Kana copied, which is it is a big deal.
John Combo's choosing to attack before doing any of that, which is strange.
Yeah, I would have just combustion celled one of my guys, but yeah, whatever.
This is a way to
skipping it.
activate Jack's tribute and then copy Jack and kill the other Coal Scrounger.
So now if the temple
Except
standard,
temple tactic.
if it's played, it doesn't get the copy doesn't do anything. Such a combust.
I mean, you want to keep the units off of Safar's board.
That's one more firebomb.
Exactly, it's one more firebomb and
Torch.
Torch.
That's it. Do not torch your own face. Yes.
Yeah, do not torch self.
Okay, that's a blocker.
Firebomb?
Yes.
Firebomb number 2? One more and John Combo's dead.
Did you
this
say number
firebomb
2 because
Wheel Destiny as well. So that's going to be one more draw. Stonescar Banner. And End of Hostilities on top.
That's a very Russian roulette kind of deck.
It really is. Safar's making his opponent play Russian roulette.
Such a deck. I am loving it. Okay, now Birthright for a torch, and John Combo is in a tough spot.
Birthright hitting torch. What's in the market?
No, you can't.
You won't have another thing in hand. You're right.
Yes, you can't. You can't do it. But you're not dead for now if you're Sifar. You can just let me just check what he's got in these markets. I don't know if he's going to play the merchant just to get one more blocker on the board. Where is Sifar's deck? There you go.
He chose not to play the merchant for
he's got
an
an
extra
obliterate
blocker.
in the market. Oh, but there
the
you go.
elders?
There you go.
Firebomb! It happened!
Beautiful.
Safar just beat John Combo 2-1 with the Firebomb deck.
This is the best deck I have ever seen, I think. This was great.
Nice.
This is what Casual Friday is for. I'm loving it.
Get punished for running draw spells in your deck, John Combo.
But John Combo's deck is interesting to me as well. Like I haven't played Dark Canadian yet, so I want to try it. But damn, Sifa's deck, it is sweet. Okay, so I think that was the last match for the round. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the third round. And we are back. And Cygnus, look, we've brought back Sifar.
By popular request of the
Which is us.
production group, we're watching Safari again. This time we're going to
Because
watch.
look at this. Duncan is playing Sacrifice. So he's playing units with Destiny. So that's more card draw. And come on, it's gonna be nice. And there's witching hour, and you were saying, imagine if we see a witching hour hit by a birthright. So that's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Yeah, this is. I'm not sure if this is as good of a matchup for Safar as the last one.
There's a lot of life steal on Duncan's side, but come on, it's gonna be fun.
Yes, that much is for sure.
Okay, Kairos is telling us that the players are ready, so let's dive in. And we see a very keepable hand from hearing that your opponent is playing. You're even going first, damn. Your
And
opponent
Duncan had a
dead.
very poor opener, and
I
he
suppose it's a
mulliganed
mulligan,
into
so yeah.
another bad hand, but he does top deck the Crush of Vengeance
Yeah.
that will allow him to play some things, but like still not the Xenon Cultist.
I already know that if Duncan gets hit by the teacher, he's gonna complain during the whole tournament. The teacher is overpowered. This is gonna be fun.
And if he chooses to keep this Vanquish on top, which he doesn't because he recognizes that Safar doesn't
Yeah.
blame units that can get vanquished. Down Merchant is not going to do it. Duncan does not have the power to play something to prevent this teacher from hitting. So she is going to be hitting Duncan's face after the Light the Fuse because, of course, she provides a draw.
Oh, you've got to admit that it's a sweet deck. Okay, so Merchant being it isn't that great for Duncan. What does he have? Let me just check his market.
Duncan chooses to spend the turn slaying the second teacher.
Yeah, that's reasonable. So he's got a burglarize in the market, so at some point that might match. Yeah.
Question.
Yes, answer. What was the question, Cygnus?
He steals the weights, he can then play it on
Yes.
Safar, right?
Completely.
Huh. It is a very expensive burglarize, though, because its cost is increased by disciplinary weights.
Yeah, that should be 7, I guess. I think it's 4 costs per price.
Yeah, it's normally a 4 cost, now it costs 7. And Duncan Red is quite a ways away from being able
So
to play
many
something
teachers.
that costs 7.
First firebomb. We want to see more.
And of course, when the firebomb is your
Yes.
top deck, that means that if
The
that's
card, the
the card you
additional
draw for
card,
the
yeah.
turn, you're not going to get anything this turn that doesn't have its cost increased.
Is teacher just gonna win the game on the spot? Oh, I think that was bottomed. That was a birthright. I would suppose that it was bottomed. The spark is gonna activate, so firebomb, more firebomb. Gonna be
Noting
able
that
to
Safar has a
press.
torch in hand, Duncan is still pretty much one firebomb away from dead. And he
Yes.
chooses to bottom a merchant,
He's
which is a
right.
very risky thing to do when you
Yeah.
know that there's also a bunch of firebombs in your deck. Safar's going to Lost in the Mist because
There we go.
that was lethal. Safar got game 1 against Duncan because Duncan stumbled and got hit by a teacher.
Yeah, teacher is gonna be very for Duncan, but if Sifar doesn't get the teacher going, I think that the matchup isn't that bad.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about teacher.
Don't worry. Yes, go ahead, Cygnus. Sorry.
She decides games if she gets the opportunity to hit early, but if she doesn't, she no longer feels very strong after that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that it forces the mulligan of pretty much everybody playing. So you've got to mulligan to counter teacher if your deck is susceptible to her.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
bit,
the thing. Even decks that don't run Teacher of Humility are benefiting from the existence of Teacher of Humility because their opponents have to play around Teacher of Humility. Now, that doesn't happen quite as much in open deckless tournaments like this. You have to be running your teachers, otherwise, there's no reason for your opponent to play around them. But, like, on ladder,
on ladder, I'm mostly playing control, and if I don't have something to get rid of the teacher, that's a no-brainer. And this is okay. Do you keep the? No, he bottomed it. That's a good choice. Still keeping open a possible turn two teacher if he gets the right draw. It doesn't, so we're gonna see a light diffuse. And
a turn 2 teacher also would not have been nearly as strong here because of those that talk tick in Duncan's
yes.
hand.
Okay, so we're gonna be able to see the teacher probably gonna get slayed. It can be delayed via the it's risky. So yeah, let's get rid of her.
Yeah.
Sifa's deck doesn't have that much threats, so you can keep your kills for the big ones like teacher.
Arriving a turn late there meant that the teacher was not long for this world.
We want to see fire bombs. Come on. So do you keep? You probably don't play the standard. You attack with the 3/2 and you put some damage, some kind of pressure, I guess, on Duncan. But Duncan blocks, which is the right thing to do.
Safar knows
Fire bomb.
that the aggro is Safar. So that was
Yes.
just one firebomb. And we see that Safar has gotten a lot more of the life gain this time. Piercing Griefs here are going to amount to more than one additional firebomb that needs to connect to Duncan's face, while also threatening coming back again later on.
What do you think about Lost in the Mist? Apart from the fact that it's not a very good.
I think it's going very deep, and I respect Safar's choice to do so.
Hmm.
I'm not saying it's necessarily a good card. It's not
No. But I
a
mean,
good card.
you can completely run like not that great of cards if they go well with your strategy. But is it that useful in his deck?
Well, he has a number of things of his own that he's happy to bounce,
Yeah.
while also being able to use it just to remove a blocker.
The problem is I don't know if it allows you to put back your
Get firebombed!
firebomb. Firebomb.
And Stone Powder Alchemist, and another Stone Powder Alchemist. So
Yeah.
we did not see a
Still a great
situation
card.
where Duncan
Oh.
drew into Piercing Griefs on his opponent's turn,
What
which I'm
would
sure
he?
he's happy about.
I must have missed something, but what would he choose to block the 2/2 instead of the 3/2? Hmm.
Because he wanted to put another firebomb in his deck? I'm not sure.
Yes. Not certain either. Um, maybe feeling like there was a trap waiting for him, and I can confirm that Lost in the Mist put an enemy unit into the enemy player's hand. So
You don't
I don't know.
even bounce your own units, right? Because it's the cost increased by 2. I suppose it's a stopgap for if birthright hits something massive.
Yeah. Hmm. I guess yes. He's playing 4 teleports, so that's probably the next option. And yes, Iceberg Scattershot that we hadn't seen in the previous games. Yeah, now we see one. It didn't stay long on the board.
Safar had to spend the whole turn
Yeah,
with Lost
bouncing
in the Mist
the.
on Inquisitor Macto. Well, Duncan still has the power to play Macto after that. And now Safar is dead.
Uh, wasn't dead. Could have put a blocker on the board anyway. But I get your point. Yeah, he was pretty dead.
He was dead enough to decide it was time to concede.
But
Meaning
you're
he'll be.
playing Firebomb, so you have to wait to see what your opponent draws. Like, imagine you might draw 4 of them.
I mean, theoretically possible. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's one. That's more the kind of game that I was expecting from the match. To be honest, there's really a lot of life steal on Duncan's side.
Yeah.
But yeah, we want to see more fire bombs. I want to see more. Okay, so that's a mulligan for sure. And Duncan, gonna check his hand. He mulliganed as well, and that is a
Spectator bug.
yes. But it's got a tactic if your hand wasn't completely mistaken. Ooh, what?
This is not Duncan's hand. This is
No, it can't be.
me getting to the right player.
Oh, okay. Oh, you distracted me. Now I don't know what happened.
There's Duncan's hand.
Okay, so that
And we
okay,
even get to catch that he's scouting a Xenon cultist. Let's find out if that goes to the top, which it does.
yes. Okay, so this is the kind of hand that more like Duncan's game than Sifar. Sifar doesn't have the second fire influence, so it's kind of hard right now.
And that draw was not that fire influence, which
Yeah.
means that Safire's kind of just sitting on a hand that does not really anything for now, but he also does have access to 2 Flame Belchers and
I wouldn't be surprised to see a Makto here.
the
Yeah.
Yeti as well. But Safar is running 4 copies of Luminor Reclaimer. We just haven't seen them yet. And if he top decks into that, maybe there's a world where this scatter shot survives long enough to put a bunch of fire bombs in Duncan's deck. Which
Doesn't happen.
No, you're right,
Safar-
because Safar needs to get the second fire influence. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, but that's not reliable reliant on scattershot. That's he wants to play the flame belcher.
He really wants to play the Flame Belchers while Scattershot is in play.
That's 5 damage being swung and a devour afterward. That's a lot of damage.
It sure
Especially
is.
when you've got the Mactos on the top. There's a purify in the market for Sifar, so he can see
Here
if,
it
if
is.
he can
Flame Belchers.
find it.
2 Flame Belchers that are both going to
Yeah, that's
throw
nice.
20 fire bombs onto the bottom of Duncan's deck. So now, if Safar gets a Lumen Reclaimer,
If he
Safar
gets
could still win
very
this.
lucky.
And these units are also viable blockers now for the units on the ground. They, of course, can't block Macto, but Lost in the Mist can
Ooh, more.
delay Macto. And here, let's put another 10
Yeah, he's gonna
fire
delay
bombs.
Macto with the Lost in the
So
Mist.
there's now 30 fire bombs on the bottom of Duncan Wren's 91 card deck.
We want to see Lumen Reclaimer.
If Safar top decks Lumen Reclaimer,
Is there
there
any
is
other
a 1 in 3 chance of Duncan Wren
being
drawing a
dead?
firebomb for every draw. Actually, it'll be slightly lower than that because of the 5 cards also in the void. Maybe it'll be slightly higher because of the other firebombs that have gone into Duncan's deck. I'm not entirely sure, but it's going to be about 1 in 3.
Is there any other card other than Lumen Reclaimer that shuffles your opponent's deck?
Nope. No
Nope.
other card to do that.
Yeah, so that quite locks you into practice.
It most certainly does.
Hmm.
Madness top deck is not exactly what Duncan's looking for. I imagine he'll
Yeah, he's
just
gonna play the
have to
macro.
play Macto, but he's going to go for an attack with Stone Powder Alchemist
Oh, he's
first, which
right.
does make a lot of sense. When it dies here, Xenon Cultist makes it bigger and it revenges and destinies and stuff. And now Macto.
Yeah, birthright. Birthright is just gonna accelerate the coming back of the alchemist. Ooh, that's a
Yep,
potential lethal.
interesting. This was a different Stone Powder Alchemist. It's
Huh?
still got revenge active.
Yeah.
And now stealing
Yeah,
the
there we go.
Scrounger.
Because there is an alchemist on. Yeah, the alchemist can't attack, but there's an alchemist in hand. So then, yeah, that's lethal.
Yeah, if Safar chooses this double block, which he did, he's gonna get punished for it and
No, my firebomb
die.
so far away. No.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides of,
Yeah, such a combo deck. Yeah, if you can't find it.
especially because there isn't a huge amount of like extra draw to get to the combo pieces in Safar's deck.
Is there an argument for running this deck with Aurelian Merchant and running Reclaimer in the market and more card draw, like the one that gains you life and makes you draw, that is used in the in chalice in mask decks?
I might be interested in considering something along the lines of that if I'm Safar.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Perhaps
Like,
cutting
yeah.
down on the Lost in the Mist.
I would completely replace the market, to be honest, but it's mostly because he isn't playing anything that is key to his combo in the market that I'm saying that. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't played the deck, but it looks sweet. Well, so that was actually not our last match. Etman and Etman is playing Vodacom. I'm not surprised at the deck how long, but Kiar is playing AP mid range and they are apparently our game. So
Well, if we dive on in, we can see that the reason this game has been going so long, I suspect, is that Kiar only now gets to the fifth tower.
oh,
And
okay.
a lot
We're
of
gonna
important things in Kiar's deck activate on 5 power.
gonna check Hetman's side. Oh yes. Okay. That's a lot of. And you've got an active Aled on the board. That it's a desert marshal, so basically nothing.
Definitely not the unit you're looking to hit,
And
but
Vanquish's Blade is gonna get. But then yeah, you've got desert marshal, so that's nice. You can get the 5/5 on the board if you'd like. Probably do, but the Tavrod might punish you behind that. So why is there? Why did it choose a? Why did Edmund choose a fire influence? Just just for the style, or is there a reason? Doesn't seem to be a reason for him to select the fire influence, so I'd say it's for style point, which I don't get because he's
he
playing
didn't
Voda.
need any other influence.
What? No, he needs three justice influence for Vodacom for Vodacom.
He's got the Talir in hand. His plan is, if he's going to get the Vodacom, to have it have Destiny.
It's only in the market. I mean, you might want to play it at some point if you market for it and the Talir is dead.
If you
Feels
market for
like
it and the
BM.
Talir is dead, you're going to be sad.
No. Feels like BM to me.
It definitely is BM,
Why
but
would
it
you?
might work.
Why would you kill the 1/1 instead of the 2/1? Hmm. Things are happening in this game. I don't know what to trust.
Doesn't really change anything.
I guess so.
9-1 left, right, Falchion. That means that if the Winchest Merchant is unanswered, it's going to be lethal.
He's unanswered, so yeah. Yep.
Top deck Justice Sigil. That's not going to do it.
That's what you get for BMing. That's the answer.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Okay, so that's game for Kia. So apparently it's 1-1 right now.
Yes. And due to that, we will be going into a game 3 between these two players.
Yeah, I can imagine that the first game must have been quite long because Sifar's game weren't that quick and they still haven't started the third one. So Hetman must have hit the combo at some point.
I imagine that was the case. Worth note, these players are currently both 2-0, which means the winner will be the only remaining undefeated player,
Yeah.
but we're still going to run a fourth round because we're here to have fun.
Fun is all that matters in the casual Friday. Okay, so the players are gonna dive back into the game. And we're going to see the third game between, I don't know, AP Midrange versus Vodacom that I see every day.
That's definitely not a frequent matchup, but it's a matchup that seems to be like a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I'd agree. I imagine that Desert Marshal are very important for Hetman. You don't run Vanquish, you kind of need the silence either for Tavrod or for the flying units.
And Kiara has a very flying heavy hand here that
Yeah.
also includes a lot of ways to silence a potential Sandstorm Titan, so it's very unlikely that all of those flying units are going to be checked.
That's a good hold for Kiar because if a Trailmaker hits the board, he's gonna be able to Vara's favor.
Yes, I really respect players who have the discipline to hold back the Vara's favor until there's a target for it, especially in a matchup where they know that there's a lot of good targets for Vara's favor.
Yeah. Is there is no scarf in the market for Hetman, so yeah, the flying units are gonna be tough to beat. There is 3 Sandstorm Titan and the Desert Marshal basically. You've got some initiation that could hit flying units, but that's not gonna be now. Okay, Desert Marshal coming down, trading the 3-3 or the 4-1.
Kiara has now burned both ways to silence units that don't involve Sheriff Marley getting tribute or going to the market to pick up the third Valkyrie Enforcer. But for now, that's not really a huge issue because Hetman doesn't have Vodacom or Talir or Sandstorm Titan, but I suppose either of the units that are sitting in Hetman's hand would be decent targets for a silence effect anyway.
I'm thinking about Behemoth. Like, Hetman has to know that it's gonna get killed as soon as it hits the board. So he wants to get the Mystic Ascendant going first and play the Behemoth behind. Get some
Eating a
control.
removal spell is a fine usage of World Bear Behemoth in this matchup.
Yeah, but the problem is that you have in this situation played first. So right now it doesn't matter too much because you're gonna get the Aled afterwards, so there's still a lot of pressure, but he doesn't know that Kiar has the merchant in hand that can fetch some removal. Yeah, it's hard. And he can't activate the Aled. He might be better off actually playing the Behemoth, but no, he decides to play the Aled. Okay. Kiar is at 12.
Kiara is already down to 12, and
Ooh,
Vanquisher's
Vanquisher's
Blade
Blade is staying
Scout
on
is
top.
definitely staying on top.
Oh. Yeah, cresting before is definitely the right option here. Now that he's seen the Vanquisher's Blade, he doesn't have to market remove. That's good.
Yes, play your crest early, and with the help of that Unseen Commando, Ripknife Assassin gets in for 3 alongside the Valkyrie Enforcer. Hetman's down to 13.
At this point, I might even like just put the market back on top of the. You activate Aled and you.
Ultimate Alhead to put a merchant back on top of your deck.
Well, you want to get your Talia.
I
This
prefer
puts more
committing an
pressure,
additional unit to
but
the board.
it's
You
gonna
know
get
that Kiara
it's gonna
is
get
at
punished.
6 and is getting very close to dead.
I mean, very close to dead is kind of relative. You've got a 2/2 on the board that's still going to be able. I don't think there is any way beside initiation to get rid of the 2/2, and that's not initiation.
That is correct. And
That probably up.
Tutu also isn't hugely relevant because Hetman still wouldn't have had enough total power to kill Kiar after the lifesteal from Unseen Commando. And yeah, that's even making Allhead
Blocked by
into a
the yeah.
14-18 isn't enough because you just block Allhead and then attack back for lethal.
Yeah, it's hard to counter AP mid range without any kind of direct way of removal.
Congratulations to Kiar for going
Yeah.
3-0 in his first official tournament. But we still have an additional round that we will be back with shortly.
Yep. Let's take a Oh, Cygnus, I was letting you do the intro.
You should have
Hi
told me that
guys,
you were
we're
letting me do
back.
the intro.
Sorry. So we're back with Dark Canadian versus Crown Roach, which was our choice for the most interesting matchup this round. Sifar got the bye, so we're not saying any more fire bombs. I'm sad. But right now we've got a very interesting matchup. We have seen Cross at the beginning of the tournament. He was able to do some stuff with the Crown Roaches. Losing to the flying units, but still, yeah. We might find something very interesting in the Dark Canadian matchup. And John Combo's deck, more classic, but looks interesting.
I'm wondering if John Combo is going to be fast enough to prevent Cross from doing his Clockroach thing.
Yeah, one of the downsides of playing Dark Canadian is that you're probably not going to play Hailstorm, and it's useful against the early game from the Crown Roach. This is a mulligan from Cross, for sure.
Hailstorm is actually something I might be considering running if I were Cross. He's not running any copies of it.
Yes.
He's actually running 2 copies of Breeze Dancer as well, which I'm nowhere near as convinced about. It doesn't allow you to hit
It's
Destiny
fun.
or Echo because it only hits combat abilities rather
Is
than
it
any
just
abilities.
combat?
Yeah,
It's not
it's
a
just combat skills.
wait. It's not a Crown Roach on a body.
It's not a full crown. No, it's not.
Huh. That's very disappointing, actually. Ooh, that's an ugly mulligan.
Yeah, I was excited by Breeze Dancer too, but then I realized, wait, some of the most powerful abilities are the ones that aren't battle
Yeah, for
skills.
that kind of deck. Hmm.
So I
Okay,
personally have
so
cut it from my editions of Crown Roaches.
okay, the Seek Power is gonna be able to fetch the time influence that is missing, and things are gonna be right for Cross again. But on the other side, we see that John Combo already has the cell in hand. So good thing to have.
John Combo does have the combustion cell, allowing the merchant to go get something else, but that something else is Combust, Flamestoker, Gear Cruncher, or Skycrack Banner. And none of those feel really that great when John Combo doesn't have
Yeah.
any Grenadin in play to start making something. And even then, maybe the choice is Flamestoker, but that can get outsized, outlarged. Wow, John Combo right now has a fair bit of the combo after that top deck of Jack, since
Yeah.
there's End of Hostilities on top of the deck.
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say Flamestoker seems like the best thing to get. I don't believe that Cross. I was checking the deck list, and Cross is still not running this junction in his market. So that's a good hit for John Combo. At some point, the Flamestoker, the Infernus aren't gonna do much if the 5/6 get to stick on the board, but
the
it's
thing
not
is,
yet. Yes.
they're still serviceable blockers, or not blockers, I mean sacrifice
Yes.
targets.
Completely.
And John Combo chooses to spend the whole turn on that torch rather than sacrificing his
Yeah.
instant merchant to be able to actually play the Flamestoker. And now we might see that happen this turn.
Cross
Alternatively,
decided to send back the Thunderstrike Dragon on the top of the
makes sense. It'll get an
yes,
additional battle skill. There will be 2 of them, and they'll be
and
cheaper.
they'll be discounted. Yeah. That's a lot of things going on for the players.
John Combo really has to deliberate here, and it's going to be End of Hostilities onto
Oh,
Nesting Avasaur, making 2 Nesting Avasaurs that are subsequently going to put Kenna and Jack on top in the order that John will draw Jack before drawing Kenna.
oh,
Now Cross goes for twinning ritual to make more Thunderstrike dragons that are even bigger and have additional battle skills. And wow, they're all going to have killer as well as bond. So
This is devastating. You
Cross really got to put a lot of power into play that turn, and
probably should have attacked first, to be honest, but this is. Whoa.
Jack, even with Tribute active, is gonna.
Attack first! The attack,
The
the 3
3 points of damage probably
damage!
wouldn't really have mattered, but you're correct that it was an objective misplay to not attack there. There's nothing Cross could have done to prevent John Combo from getting in for those 3 point of damage and then still being able to play Jack, but I'm not sure if it's going to wind up mattering. I don't think John Combo will have the
I
opportunity to deal
think.
the other 22 damage.
I think the other misplay that won't end up mattering is the unit in, because you use the killer, the 6/7, to kill a 3/3 instead of using the killer of a 5/6. But that doesn't matter. Um, yeah, well, that's gonna be hard to beat.
Quite tough.
What would you play it first? Uh,
Just take it. You don't care that
well,
John
there is.
Combo is going to draw bad news.
Yeah, you really don't care because he's at 0. So
Because the thing is that bad news, John Combo can't play it now, and the only thing he could do is kinda to kill one
to
thing.
be
This
to
is
be
a lethal
honest,
attack here.
I didn't like the play from John Cole to sacrifice his unit to end of hostilities the Aviozor.
Yeah, End of Hostilities Evisor puts him down on card advantage a lot.
Yes. And also, he could have just sacrificed the unit and just kill something with the tribute or get something back with the Kenna, and it would have been, in my opinion. Okay, so that's 1-0 for the Crown Roaches. Are we gonna see
Yes,
this
it
deck on
is.
ladder?
I suspect I will be playing some Crown Roaches on ladder again.
You monster. This is the deck that feels bad to lose against times.
It's like
Objectively, I know
watching.
that they don't win that much.
You're like you get to sit back and watch a natural disaster. It's awesome.
So the players are gonna get back into the game. So Cross is leading for now, and I'm just checking the brackets on the other side. Nobody's finished, so we might get something else in the round. The guys apparently don't want to get back into the game.
So it seems.
Yeah, I'm rewatching the Bond thing, and I believe that it was a mistake to the order the units were. Doesn't matter.
Of course, the
We'll find
issue
out.
with running clock roaches on the ladder is that it hard folds to aggro.
Yes, and I see that might just be me, but I see a lot of days. It's fast and it's effective. The guys don't want to play it. Is that it?
They're in.
As John Combo, like, disgusted by the Crown Roach deck, decided to stop playing.
No, no, we're gonna get our game too.
Is that a mulligan for you, Cross's hand? It is for me, but yeah, there you go.
It is for Cross, and I'd say he got rewarded.
Yes. It's a very good hand for a Crown Roach deck. On the other hand, there is literally the other hand actually. There is a combustion cell at the ready, which is always nice.
And a unit to sacrifice to that combustion cell this time for John Combo, which is what he was sorely lacking last game.
Okay, so I imagine on the other hand, there is no disjunction in kit, but on John Combo's side, there is no bar either. So these guys are gonna stay with their relics till the end.
John Combo will be using Wisdom of the Elders here on
Yeah.
Cross's turn to draw some more stuff.
I mean, there's nothing to end of hostilities yet, so
Right. Meaning that it's not yet Combustion Cell time, and apparently not yet Spark Hatcher time either. Well, second Spark Hatcher. And Cross hits the Merchant needed to go get the second crown. Things definitely start heating up once you have two crowns in play.
yes. Yeah, he's down at 13, so he needs to either find some lifesteal, get enough blockers on the board for it to matter. I want to see end of hostilities on a unit with the keywords. Do you nesting Aviosol to back a whatever the name, a crown roach, cockroach?
Clockroach.
Do you nesting Aviosol to get them back for sure, or
I
would you
wouldn't do it
rather
until I get the other crown, and
yeah?
I respect the play of one Clockroach this turn, followed up by the Merchant to go get the crown and play the crown next turn. John Combo's not really doing a huge amount to either. He has the End of Hostilities, but he has nothing to
I
End of
would really
Hostilities.
get the Flamestoker in the market.
I suspect that he'll be.
Ooh,
I
Combus.
was going to say, I suspect he'd be getting Gear Cruncher.
Okay.
I mean, he does
We'll see.
recognize that he has a world where he could wipe Cross off the
completely,
face of
like
the planet by being aggressive.
you play the 2-1, but then Cross, yeah, okay, Cross decides to send back the 2-1.
To turn it into a 2-1 with flying.
That's gonna be 2 blockers this turn.
Either 2 blockers this turn or a blocker and a second crown this turn. Oh, it looks like it's going to be a killer Clockroach. Yeah. So it won't be a blocker, but it will be able to deal with the Scavenging Vulture, while the second one is also able to deal with the Merchant.
Changes things when the thing is killer for sure, and the killer gets activated with the end of hostilities. So we'll see 2 damage pushed to Cross, and gonna need to find some blockers ASAP.
ASAP.
Ditching the sigil to get equivocate. Yeah.
That is equivocate. I suspect equivocating the Clockroach is what's going to be happening here.
It's going to be something smaller than a 4/4 anyway.
It could be a 6/4 or a 6/2. But that is appreciably unlikely.
2/2.
Oni Quartermaster, just a vanilla 2/2 in this matchup.
Yeah, but is it 7? You get to put the Oni. Okay. Ooh.
Keep the Merchant on top and put the Oni back into the market.
Yeah, you have to keep the Oni. That's an interesting choice. The Oni on the as you keep the Merchant at the bottom, but no, you keep it on the top and
John Combo kept the Merchant on top and played the Oni.
What?
That's an odd line of play. But Cross only gets to put 1 unit into play this turn, meaning that
It's hard to say if there's any without knowing the keywords.
More damage will be coming through. Now does Cross choose not to go down on card advantage? I think that's the correct play.
Give me a second. I need to check if there's something that I've missed in the map. There's a Gear Cruncher and Flamestoke. Not sure I get it.
I would have happily been going and getting that Flamestoker if I were John Combo.
Yeah. What does it have? Unblockable? Unblockable.
Yes. Torch! Top deck Torch! Wow. That's game.
Okay, so 1-1. Such BM. Not even torching right away.
True BM would have been torching the Breeze Dancer there.
Okay, so that's 1-1, and we're gonna see a third game. I don't know about this play of keeping the Oni run in the Oni Quartermaster in.
Yeah, I still don't agree that playing it there was the correct play.
But it top decked the torch anyway, so
Then the correct play would have been to scout the merchant to the bottom and top deck torch a turn earlier to reduce the number of turns.
Was the choice. And I still think that the choice was kind of hard to make. The line it chose isn't the one I would have gone for in a million years, but the choice was interesting. Would you have kept the merchant and kept your card in hand, or would you have bottomed the merchant and played the? Don't know. It doesn't have direct damage, so it was a Flamestoker that you needed to get, or Gear Cruncher.
I say that the line that John Combo took there was the worst of the three options.
It wasn't an option in my mind, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
So no two primal to see a Wisdom of the Elder for John Combo.
And Cross is off to a crownless start, which means this merchant is definitely going to go and get one. How do you feel about playing Aurelian Merchant out there rather than Genève Merchant in this situation?
I think that in his deck you need to play Genève to get the crown and keep Aurelian Merchant for the Lumen Reclaimer and the one. I mean, there's literally no reason not to.
I completely disagree. Getting Aurelian Merchant out early allows it to add to Cross's total amount of power, meaning that Equivocate gets to be held up this turn as well, and then later on he can go and get Thunderstrike Dragon, and if he gets one more power, those Thunderstrike Dragons are very playable, and there's of course two of them, whereas there would just be one Lumen Reclaimer or Scorpion Wasp.
Your 3/2 can't, or it can die to Combust. I don't know. It's all about possibilities in my mind. You want to keep open the possibility that you want to get Lumen Reclaimer or Wasp, and thus you play the one merchant that can't fetch cards. Then again, didn't change much here. He's back to full power, and it's a 7/7 that needs to be dealt with, so it's going to be an Equivocate for it. But are we going to see two Clockwork? I can't see the keywords.
In this particular matchup, there is a lot more to be said for Scorpion Wasp, as John Combo has a lot of killer for those Kennas.
Kenna and Jake are good targets for the Scorpion Wasp.
However, Jack right now is a target for Equivocate, turning into a Black Sky Harbinger. That is certainly a decent card, but it's not like it's going to be able to kill off Cross's board. It's really just a 4/5 flyer with lifesteal.
And Cross is at 4, so he can't play the strike yet. So find it to be a good pick. He can't play the Kenna yet, John Combo, so he's gonna have to play the Harbinger.
Top deck Wisdom of the Elders will give Cross some more options if he chooses to go with it.
Okay, Genève Merchant for send a strike, okay. I mean, you need to find a power to play them, but sure.
I mean, if they hit Destiny, you wouldn't
That's
have needed
one.
to go find those 2 power to be able to play them.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. You keep that on top. Yeah, but it's I don't think that you can uh, bet on you finding Destiny.
True, unless that's the only thing you can do to not die, you're
Sure.
usually not betting on hitting Destiny. But Cross, as you can see, was thinking about how nesting Avisaur can make them cheaper.
Yes.
And these draws right
Wait,
here.
what?
John Combo played
Okay.
Kenna and ended the turn instantly.
It makes sense. If you find a small cheap spell that isn't combos because you need your units, your Kenna can eat one of the Thunderstrike. It makes sense.
That attack there seems very ill advised, but
There you go.
it was because the nesting Avisaur hit Reckless.
Yes. So I'd say attack with the. Oh no, why? You just drew. Okay, you have another Kenna still. You know that there is like multiple Thunderstrike in hand, so I think the play was to keep the Kenna open, just attack with the 5, and you keep the Sig Power under your belt, and then you play Kenna, play Sig Power, and you can eat 2 Thunderstrike.
I do agree with that line.
Okay, Wisdom doesn't need any units, but you've got a
Wisdom
second.
into second sight.
Permafrost is nice.
Of course, put a
Ooh, what
dragon on
is it?
top. Now has 3 keywords.
Yeah, what are the keywords? That's
Deadly, Quick Draw, and Reckless. Reckless is not a great one to be picking up. I wonder at what
yeah.
point in the chain that was acquired.
Deadly quick draw reckless. Makes it a great attacker and definitely not a blocker.
And here's one of the small downsides of running a deck enabling relic that you only need one of. There's
Yes,
2 sitting in John
definitely.
Combo's hand, and since he doesn't have any merchants, he has nothing to do with them.
Why wouldn't you attack with the 4/5 here?
Dude, I have no clue.
I think you need to put pressure on the board, like really fast. Uh,
Absolutely.
I don't think. Is there any matchup outside of temporal control where if you're against Chrono Roach, you don't want to be the beat down?
I know I've managed to at least out late game Chalice decks
Yeah, of course.
as
I mean, Chalice deck
Crown
is the beat down
Arches.
in a
Yeah,
Chrono matchup. So I don't know if there's any matchup outside of temporal or maybe unitless, like GPS unitless, that doesn't want to be the beat. Okay, so I think this one doesn't have deadly, so this answer is when it was acquired. I suppose Reckless was one of the first.
it does appear to be the case that it was one of the first 2 to be picked up. Still doesn't answer whether it was the first keyword or second keyword, but at this
It's
point
true.
that doesn't matter, I don't believe, because unless I'm misunderstanding the source of the units in Cross's hand, there wouldn't have been any situation for that to matter.
Okay, so we're gonna see. That's one with deadlies. Um, that's not finding any cheap unit is a big problem. So that's gonna go to the immediately. Um, yeah, that's really not good.
John Combo really can't afford to be continually drawing blanks like this.
He's gonna take 10. Not bad choice, but he's gonna take 10 anyway this turn and probably gonna block the. Okay,
No, that's going to be more
that's
than 10.
8. Yeah.
He goes to 9 off of that.
Huh. That's a lot of pressure he's under.
Yeah, that's something to be really wary of because Cross could, of course, hit unblockable on some of these units. Oh, here's some Destiny, more card draw. Now, those draws were actually functionally blanks, but
Wait.
that's 2 double damage quick draw clock
Whoa,
roaches.
whoa. He had. Did he know? Uh, okay, he probably knew. Yeah, that technically he didn't know because fuck, he had lethal actually in his mind. If he like, if you don't know that the Thunderstrike aren't like Clockroach, you actually had lethal by keeping the sick power on top because you knew that the 5/6 had to attack, and you could boost your Kenna with the sick power on the top. That was
Oh, John Combo missed lethal?
no. Well, I mean, he didn't know that the Thunderstrike. I mean, technically, he didn't play the Thunderstrike, so the permafrost answered that. But since the 5/6 had to attack, the air was free.
Well, I can guarantee that this attack is for game and match.
Yes.
Cross beats John Combo, showing that Crown Roaches can still beat Dark Canadin.
Minus 52. That's beautiful. Okay, so Clockroach taking the match here.
And that was the last match
yes,
of
that was the match.
tonight's Eternal Casual Friday. So, with that, I want to congratulate Kiar for going 4-0.
Undefeated in the tournament against
That is correct.
Flop at the end.
And I want to thank all of the players for participating.
Definitely. Duncan finished second, I believe. Execo with John Combo, I suppose. Oh, no. Sorry.
Cross and Duncan tied for second.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. So, nice one. I still think that the firebombs were incredible.
Oh, yes. It was beautiful to see that.
So, yeah, okay. So, guys, we hope that you enjoyed it. On Sunday, we are having the Invitational.
That's
Our
correct.
lovely producer is participating, if she hasn't lied to us. So you can see Kalos, you can see, I believe, Second Blue is participating in the Invitational. You've got a ton of players playing this in this one. So I think Bruce by God, Second Blue, Jazz, Isaac Crown, Cross. We've got a lot of players playing apparently Nice Bruce and Kalos. So we hope to see you guys on Sunday for this.
Yes, and that Sunday, this Invitational, people are playing for a monetary prize pool. That prize pool you can find on Matcherino.
Yes.
And
you can
contribute on Matcherino as well.